Hey everyone, Chris, Midlife Crisis Media here. Welcome to my next Video Game Collection 2023 live stream. Today is all about the Wii U. Hang on one second. Made all the difference, wouldn't you say? I'm not a pink tomato anymore. I forgot to change the color of the my desk lamp before the stream. So, Wii U, what's my history with it? Well, like I had said in not only the Nintendo DS, the 3DS, and the Wii streams, was that when it came to Nintendo, when it came to the Wii specifically, I got really sick of it after the first 2 years. Didn't really like the way the controls were set up with the motion controls. I thought it was just really gimmicky. The games weren't implementing it well. They weren't fun. As for me, they weren't at the time. And I just didn't think I needed to have it anymore. Plus, I don't remember if it was like really hard to find at the time, but the Wii was still commanding kind of a hefty secondhand price. Like you could basically get what it would cost brand new for selling yours, which is exactly what I did. I was moving at the time, needed money. So, sold the Wii for basically retail, price. Plus, I had a bunch of games, so those two got a hefty amount of money for my down payment for my current apartment, which was quite nice. So, didn't think again about the Wii after that. The only time I ever did anything Wii related was my parents had bought a Wii, and I was buying games for them for Christmas. I wasn't buying gift certificates. I was like, oh, I could buy them games to play. That was it. Then the Wii U was released, and it caused a lot of confusion. I'm sure all of you already are aware of this, but, when you have the PlayStation, the original PlayStation, when you release the next one, you want to let people know that it is a completely different console, that it is not an add-on like the 32X or the Sega CD or something like that. You want to let people know that it's a brand new console. It's going to have a brand new set of games for it. It's a whole new thing. PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, now PlayStation 5. You have Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, now Xbox Series X or whatever. When it came to the Wii U, naming it the Wii U was a bad idea, as far as I'm concerned. It confused a lot of people. People thought it was just an add-on or a new upgrade of a Wii because it was just a U added on to the end of it. A lot of people thought that meant add-on. So me at first, I was just kind of like, and even the thing does, when you get a look at the console itself, without the gamepad or anything like that, it does kind of resemble a redesigned Wii, like a sleek Wii. It's curved instead of, rectangular. It didn't have angles. So I can understand why people were confused about it, myself kind of included. And I wasn't even remotely interested in it from the beginning. I saw them that Nintendo announced, like, we got a new console coming out. It's called the Wii U. I was like, no. Don't care. Never paid any attention to it from after that for a while. And apparently no one else did either because this thing undersold like you would not believe. It did confuse a lot of people. So I've heard stories of like parents going out and buying Wii U games thinking that they can just play them on the Wii because it had Wii in the title. And no, it's a completely different console, completely different hardware, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was backwards compatible with the Wii, which is nice in retrospect. But it's not vice versa. So it undersold a lot. A lot of the second or third party developers backed out of it because the sales were so low. They were like, why would we spend millions of dollars creating new games for this console if the console itself isn't even selling? It makes sense. And the only companies that were like making really good games for this console was Nintendo themselves, like the in-house stuff, which is kind of crazy. Excuse me. Which is another reason why I didn't want to buy it. It had been out for like a year or two before I did start to gain some interest in it. And by then, all the third-party companies have bailed. And only Nintendo's, like, at least on a regular basis, was releasing games for this thing. So I'm sitting there going, like, look, if third-party companies don't even give a crap. Why should I? You know, Nintendo's the only company that seems to want this console to exist. They're going to push it as long as they can. Whatever, fine. So, you know, you flash forward like 2 years. So this is probably 2015, I want to say. I can actually go back in my history on the YouTubes and look at my channel to see when. No, because that was the Switch. Sorry. I want to say it was like 2015 when I finally said, okay, fine, I'll buy one of these things, because it wasn't like some brand spanking new game. It was nothing like that made me say like, oh, there's a killer app that is coming out. I must have it. It was because at the time I was watching, I had a lot of free time at work, and I spent a lot of time watching the Game Grumps. And the Game Grumps were playing Super Mario 3D World. And at first I'm like, that looks kind of fun. I might want to try that at some point. I'm not going to buy a Wii or a Wii U for that. But the more I watched it, the more I was like, this game just looks like a ton of fun. The way the game is designed, the new costumes, the multiple characters, all that stuff. I was like, this looks amazing. And that became the killer app, even though it had already been out for a while. So I want to say after like watching 90 some episodes, I think they released well over 100 episodes. I was well into them doing like the post game stuff with the game before I said, you know what? I think I want one of these things because I want to play this game so freaking bad. And then at the same time, so this is also when Mario Kart 8 came out. So if you know the date or the year that Mario Kart 8 came out, I bought it just after Mario Kart 8 had been released. Because the version that I went looking for, like the console set, like the bundle that I went looking for, thanks, Chicago PD, you're awesome, was the Mario Kart 8 bundle that they had released. Couldn't find it anywhere. Everyone was sold out. Ended up getting mine at Target, and I got the previous big bundle that they had released, which is right here in front of me, and is the new Super Mario Brothers U and new Super Luigi U bundle. This thing is heavy as hell. So went to Target, went looking for that Mario Kart 8 bundle, didn't have it at all. Kind of was disappointed. I had gone to a GameStop, two GameStops actually, one by my work and one by my home. They didn't have it either. And I was just kind of like, well, you know what? You can just buy the game separately. You don't need to have the bundle. It didn't change anything on the console. It was just that it came with a specific game. So I was just like, I'll just get this because I'm getting a completely different game that I wasn't planning on. Plus, I'll buy Mario Kart 8 and I'll buy the Super Mario Brothers or Super Mario 3D World, which is the game I wanted to play. And that's exactly what I did. And I fell in love with this thing the moment I hooked it up. Yeah, is the controller gigantic? Yes. It's like you're playing a tablet, like a iPad with controls on it instead of using like the screen, but it has a touch screen on it. The thing took up a ton of space to charge because it's a freaking iPad. It's not like something you can just plug in and leave sitting aside. No, it had like a charging station, which basically like held it up like a photo frame or something like that. It took up a ton of space, and that was the only thing I really had an issue with. The thing is a Wii. Also, it is backwards compatible. It has the hardware, I don't know if it has the hardware. I don't know if it's an emulator or not. I honestly don't remember. But it has like the desktop of a Wii that you can go into. You can save your games on it. You can play all your old games. You can access the Wii, like the store on it, and it is fantastic. So it's basically two consoles in one, which meant that Wii that I talked about in the Wii stream that my mother bought off of my cousin for Christmas a few years prior, I didn't need it anymore. So that thing went into the closet because now this was my Wii and my Wii U, and which is fantastic. It also uses all of the controls, like the Wiimotes and the nunchucks of the Wii were compatible with this. Obviously, you had to if you were playing the Wii games, but it also, certain games used them as well on this. It also had controllers that you could buy that were like pro controllers. There were some available for the Wii as well. I never bought any for the Wii, but because the main controller for the Wii U was this gigantic, massive thing, I pretty much said early on, yeah, I'm going to have to get one of those pro controllers because I don't see myself using that pad or that tablet size thing for everything, especially if it didn't require it, the screen usage. So I ended up buying what I thought was a legit Pro controller for the Wii U, and it turned out to be a knockoff. It works though. I have no issues with it. It's perfectly fine. It's just not a Nintendo branded one, which I thought it was. I can't remember where I got this from, eBay maybe, but it worked. I can play my games with it. I am not going to complain. But one of the biggest games that came out for this thing was Super Smash Brothers for the Wii U. I don't know why they felt they had to put that in there. They could have just called it Super Smash Brothers Wii U and it would have been fine. But for the Wii U and then for the 3DS, I don't get that. So naturally, because I guess one of the biggest consoles for Smash Brothers in the past was the GameCube, and everybody loves that GameCube controller, especially for Smash. Nintendo thought it was a good idea to release a controller adapter to let you hook up your GameCube controllers to your Wii U. This hooks up through USB on the front. I think 2 USB ports are required, if I remember right. I only used this like maybe twice. And it lets you hook up 4 GameCube controllers, which is great. And like I said, I had a couple of, I think it was like 2 of my birthday parties or little birthday get-togethers. I wouldn't call it a party. Like a get-together with some friends at my place where we're playing retro games and stuff. We ended up playing Smash Brothers on the Wii U, and we used this plus Wiimotes and the Pro controller and the tablet. So it was pretty rad. But this was super hard to find for a little while, and I eventually got lucky at a GameStop near my home. They actually had one left when I went in there, and I got really lucky that I got the last one. But that was super hard to find. Getting Super Smash Brothers on day one was it was kind of hard because everybody, nobody gave a shit about the Wii U until Mario Kart 8 and Smash Brothers came out. Then all of a sudden, everybody had a Wii U. And it was hard to get into a GameStop just to ask if they had a copy for sale. But anyway, ended up really enjoying the console. I still think it's super underrated. I think because of the lack of third-party support that this thing had, it forced Nintendo to try to make the best games they possibly could in order to keep the interest alive for the console until their next thing came out, which ended up being one of their biggest hits of all time, the new Switch. And I was always whenever Nintendo would announce a new game, I was super excited about it because I want to say 9 times out of 10, it was a pretty fantastic game. There was a couple of them that were kind of this is all right. But outside of that, I mean, this gets no respect at all. And I didn't give it any respect either when it first came out, as I said earlier. But I really like it now. I do need to hook it up again to make sure that my battery for my control pad has not started to swell and break my control pad. But anyway, I'll probably do that later tonight, actually. But let's talk about the games. And this is one of my smaller collections. I was never going for a complete collection. I know because it was a small set of games that came out for this thing. It was less than 200, I think. Maybe more, maybe just slightly more than 200. I don't know. I think it was less than 200, honestly. It would be easy to collect for, but there are some real heavy hitters out there, some of which are stupid, like the Crudes of all games. And Hello Kitty Racing or whatever it is. But I do have one of the heavy hitters. I'll talk about that when I get there. But as of August, I'm officially done collecting for the Wii U. I had bought all the games. I have bought all the games I actually want to have for this console, and that's it. Not going for a complete collection or anything like that. I have the games I want, and that is it. So this is what I consider my complete Wii U collection. So let's get into it. We'll start off with Adventure Time, Explore the Dungeon, Because I Don't Know. This was by WayForward. I already had this for the 3DS. Why did I feel the need to buy it again for the Wii U? Because that was at that point when I was trying to get all the WayForward games, and I was going to buy duplicates if I had to. So this was available on multiple consoles. I was thinking about buying this I was probably going to buy this on the PS3 and the Xbox 360 as well. Eventually I said, nah, enough's enough. I have one to play on the go and one to play at home on the TV. this is the one I went with for the television. So way forward. This one is the one that is sort of like a Legend of Zelda kind of clone, top-down dungeon crawler style game. But I've never really watched Adventure Time, so I don't know anything about the characters or anything like that. So the times that I did play it, I was like, it is fun, but the jokes and the references going on, I didn't get. So it kind of lost on me. This was the game that was the last game I needed in order to say I'm done collecting for this console. And this took me forever to find for a decent price and in the condition I wanted it to be in. And I found this at a local store that I never knew existed until Captain Algebra, TJ Kitsune, and Mega Matt came down to visit to hang out and go game hunting in Chicago back in August for my birthday. They told me about this store that's right by my work that I didn't know was there. And I find the last game I wanted to buy for my Wii U to say I'm done collecting. And that is the Amazing Spider-Man Ultimate Edition. This is based off of the first reboot movie, the ones with Andrew Garfield. And it's available on other consoles. I mean, this is available on the 360. It's available on the PS3. I was like, I don't care. I had originally just bought the sequel, Amazing Spider-Man 2, for the Wii U. And I was like, I want to keep it going. I just want to have both games on one console instead of splitting it between two different ones. So I made it my life's mission to find this. And then once I did, I was done with the console. And I haven't played it yet. Like I said, I just got this back in August. But it's a 3D Spider-Man game, not unlike what we have right now going on with Spider-Man 2 from Insomniac. These games, honestly, I don't think have changed all that much from what you were playing on the PS2. Just the controls got a little bit better. The gameplay got a little bit better. The stories got a lot better. So, yeah, we got both Spider-Man games. I've played the second one just a little bit to see what it was like, and it's all right, I guess. I'm not a fan of the movies that these two games are based on. I've only seen the original one. I didn't like it, so I never watched the second one, but everyone tells me the second one is a shit show, so I never bothered. But I did like Andrew Garfield in No Way Home. What is like this? Is like at the Purge tonight or something like that? There's just cops everywhere tonight. Jesus. Next up, we have the Angry Birds trilogy. I just found this one first. I would have bought it for any console, but I found the Wii U version before all the others, so this is where I got it. And I played the crap out of Angry Birds on my little iPod that I used to have, and absolutely loved it. So it's like, I don't even know what to call it. Is it a puzzle game, I guess? Where you have a bunch of different birds, like they're just a little bird's head, different colors, each have different abilities. Some just fly straight, some split into three, so you have multiple projectiles. Some of them can home in on things. Some of them are bombs. And it's like you're given you have to slingshot them towards obstacles, and you have to destroy all the pigs on the screen. The pigs are the bad guys. They're littered strategically across each screen, and you have to destroy all of them with the birds, with the abilities that you are given at the beginning of each stage. Destroy all the pigs on that stage, move on to the next one, completely different configuration, all that kind of stuff. Really fun game. It does get old after a little while. After a while, it's like the same strategy just seems to work over and over and over again, which is why I kind of got sick of it when then they released the Star Wars version, which was kind of fun for a little while, but then I got sick of that. But it's a fun game, and I got that dirt cheap, so I just didn't care. I also got this one dirt cheap. I remember I got this at Half Price Books. And this is available, I think, on the Kinect as well, because it requires motion controls to play. But it's Avengers Battle for Earth. I still have not played this, but I think it's all about control. Like you have to, I know on the Kinect version, you have to make, like, you have to draw symbols in the air with your hands. What's up, TJ? The IP is now Sega. Okay. I want to see Angry Birds mixed into the next Sega Superstars Tennis. Make it happen. What's up, TJ, by the way? Welcome. I know with the Kinect, you to draw symbols in the air with your hands in order to do certain attacks and stuff. Here, you're supposed to draw them on the gamepad screen. Yay. So it's kind of like a mobile game on your Wii U or your Kinect. Like I said, I got it dirt cheap. I was deep into the MCU at the time, so I was like, yeah, I'll take it. I don't know why I have this, since I might be getting, maybe I'll get rid of it. I don't know. But Batman Arkham City Armored Edition, I had Arkham City for the PS3, and then I bought the PS4 compilation that has Arkham Asylum and City on the same disc. So I don't know why I need some sort of a kind of dumbed down version for the Wii U. I think Armored Edition just means that it uses the pad on the console or the control pad for some reason. Probably for the detective mode. I have not tried this yet because I beat the game on the PS4, so why bother? So maybe I'll be getting rid of this. I don't know. But it's a fantastic, regardless, Arkham City is a fantastic open world Batman game. I love the fighting mechanics. It's like playing Prince of Persia. Like you can just float from villain to villain if you're like surrounded and do a punch on each. It's like real fluid. It's real fun. I get to fly all around Gotham City. It's pretty fantastic. I like it a lot. Makes me wonder why I bought this. Maybe I didn't have that PS4 version at the time, and that's why I bought this. But it's probably going bye-bye. I love them too, TJ. I beat the first two on stream on Twitch. I still haven't played Origins or Night. I still need to do those. I have them. I just haven't played them. Had to get this. I got this on Black Friday. So that was the year. It wasn't too long after my dad died. And my mom was kind of like in a spendy mood. She was like trying to like... It was weird. It was like she was trying to... Not like buy... She was trying to like buy our happiness kind of thing. Like she was like... My dad left her a lot of money. And... it was like every time we would get together for like a holiday or something like that, she was always like, if you want something, just go get it kind of thing. She doesn't do that anymore. But like, she was like, if you want something, go get it. Like she bought me this Mac because I said I wanted to get a computer to edit my films on it. She was just like, okay, we'll go to the Apple store and buy it. I was like, what? Stuff like that. So like, I remember my brother came to visit from LA. We were at Best Buy for, the night. We went to Black Friday shopping the night of Black Friday. We didn't go during the day when it's like crazy. So there wasn't a whole lot of people there when we went. And I was, she didn't say anything yet about wanting to buy stuff, but I was like, I'm going to put all these things in my cart. And then when we get to the register, I'll make my final decision of what I wanted to buy. Because I was like, I had limited funding for Black Friday. So I grabbed this. I grabbed a couple of PS4 games because I just got a PS4 too. I grabbed a couple of 3DS games. And then my mom's like, I'm buying you a TV. And she like dumps a little mini widescreen TV for my bedroom in the cart, and then she sees all the things I had, and she goes, "Oh, I'm buying those too." I was like, "What?" Origins is a good Halloween story. I need to play it. I probably won't be this year. I'll probably play it next year. But one of the games I threw into my cart was Bayonetta 2, and the reason I wanted this was Bayonetta. I lie. I put this in my cart and I put it back because I got something else. Okay. No. Okay, so I remember the price of this was starting to go up. I get so confused over the newer stuff. I have great memories of all my old games and where I got them from. But when it comes to like modern-y stuff, for some reason, like my brain is just like bleh. I remember the price of this started to go up, and I went to a GameStop that was nearby that was kind of out of the way, but not super out of the way. Not like that one on the south side where I got those PS3 games that they kept on fucking up. I remember I went there to get this, and I had the last copy that they had, and it was because I think they were releasing this without the first Bayonetta in it or something like that. There was something going on, like it was being recalled or something, or it was going to go out of print. So I remember I ran over there because this was the only GameStop that had a copy of this in stock. And the cool thing is this has two discs because it's got the original Bayonetta and the sequel, which was exclusive to the Wii U at the time, together in one package, which is pretty great. I had the PS3 version of the original Bayonetta, and everyone told me, don't play it. It's a buggy piece of crap. If you're going to get it for the 360. Never did. So everyone told me that this version was patched, and it was playable, and it was great. So I was like, I'll just get the Wii U version. And I got it before it went completely off the market, I guess. God, I remember I put it in my cart. I put it back because I wanted to get Diablo 3 for the PS4. This one I might be getting rid of, but I think this is an exclusive for the Wii U, and it's still sealed, and this is like one of those games which is like, I got this for pennies. Pennies. I went to LA to visit my brother, and I was talking in the PS3 stream about how, because we went there around Christmas time, my brother brought my mom and me to the local Target because he wanted to do grocery shopping there, and I was like, you guys can handle that. I'll be in the game section. and I ended up buying like a discounted, like a clearance version or clearance copy of Ride to Hell Retribution, which is like one of the worst games ever made. And I also bought this because it was on clearance, and that is the Book of Unwritten Tales 2. For some reason, this thing goes for hundreds of dollars now, and mine is sealed. So maybe I'm selling it. I don't know. We shall see. But I do believe it is a point-and-click adventure game. I think it's a sequel to a PC game or something, because I've never seen Book of Unwritten Tales 1 for any console. So I think it's like a Steam game or PC game or something. I don't know. But I thought it looked pretty cool at the time. I just never opened it, and I'm kind of glad I didn't, because if I can get some cash for this, I will. Had to get this because this was one of, like, I think my favorite, like, mini games in a Nintendo game, and they decided to Nintendo fleshed it out into a full game, and that is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. So in Super Mario 3D World, I don't know if it was in 3D Land on the 3DS, but in 3D World, there are like these little mini games you can play where it's like a maze for Toad, and you can spin the maze around to get different vantage points to see how he can ascend to the top and do what he needs to do. I thought those were super fun little mini stages. So when they announced that, they were going to expand that into a game of its own, I was like, hell to the yeah. And I ran out and bought this on day freaking 1. Absolutely loved it. Oh, boy. And, I forgot to talk about something specific when it comes to the Wii U. The Wii U started that whole amiibo bullshit. Started the whole thing. It was right around the time I bought my Wii U. It was not too long after the amiibos started to come out. And I thought it was kind of a cool thing at first. They're like little miniature figurines of like your favorite Nintendo characters. And they have functionality in games too. Did not think they would catch on the way they did, though. So I bought the full first wave. And then the second wave came out. And like all of a sudden, people are standing in line for 3 hours before a Walmart opens so they can get a little Pit figure. I'm not doing that just so I can have a Pit figure. I love Pit. Pit's one of my favorite characters. I think Kid Icarus is one of the most mishandled characters in Nintendo's like franchises. They need to make more Kid Icarus games. I love it. And of course I want a little Pit figure. I'm not going to stand outside of Target, at 5 a.m. until they open so I can maybe fight over one with an old lady trying to buy one for her grandson. No. So I gave up on it pretty quickly. So there are plenty of games here in my collection. Toad Treasure Tracker is one that uses it, or uses them. Does it say on here which ones, though? No, it doesn't. But it was something that I got sick of really early on, and I don't use them. I buy certain ones that I can collect because, like, Metroid. I love Metroid. So I have the Metroid ones, at least some of them. I'm missing a couple. Like the classic ones. I don't think I'm going to find those complete in the box anymore. Anyway. But yeah, it was something that I gave up on really early on, and I still don't see why they're still making them. I mean, it's crazy. I thought that thing would have died out, but it did not. I thought it would die out like those cards that you would swipe on the Game Boy Advance. I thought it was going to die that quickly, and no, I kept on going. Anyway, here's another one that's still sealed. But I have this for another console, so I'm probably going to get rid of this. And that is Deus Ex Human Revolution, the Director's Cut. I have it for the PS3 as well. Don't need 2 copies of it. But it is a first-person cyberpunk game. I guess that Cyberpunk kind of took this series as like an inspiration. But it's like a first-person cyberpunk stealth game, action game. Play it as you will. But it's like an open-world cyberpunk-style game. And I love me some Cyberpunk, so I absolutely had to have it. And since it's sealed, I'm probably going to get rid of it. But this is one of those other heavy hitters. I did open it because I wanted to play it. And I played it a little bit, and I was like, this is okay. It's not great, but it is one of the games I think commands the highest price in the library, which I think is kind of funny. It took some doing to get a copy of this, and that is Devil's Third. So when it first came out, there was only like a limited amount of copies available, like for the first run, and you could not find them. Like they were impossible to get a hold of. Nobody had them. I think all of them had sold online or something. None of the stores near me, not even GameStop, had copies of it. And then like I had put it on my Amazon wish list. And at the time I was getting like notifications whenever something that was out of stock on Amazon that was in my wish list, I would get like a notification saying, hey, it's in stock now. That's how I got Yakuza 2 on the PS2. Like Sega just randomly released, like after how many decades? 2 decades? Or a decade and a half probably. 15 years, like made another run of Yakuza 2 for the PS2 and put them up on sale on Amazon. I was like, okay. So I got a notification for this, and I knew right then and there, I'm like, you do it either now or you're never going to get it because it's going to sell out again. And I did, and I snagged a copy of it, and I was super lucky. It's a third-person, like, hack and slash beat 'em up where you're playing as, like, this gangster guy. And you start off in prison. And I was okay. I didn't play it for very long, but I was like, it's all right. I don't know why everyone's, like, rushing to get a copy of it. Probably because it's an M-rated game released by Nintendo. Those things are actually kind of hard to come by. You know, they don't happen very often. I don't remember when the last one was. Maybe, what was that GameCube game that's like Resident Evil? Sanity's Requiem. That was probably maybe the last one before that. I don't know. Interesting. This one I do believe uses the amiibos as well. I think. I don't remember. Yeah, it shows you right there. Donkey Kong Country Returns, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. So this is part 5 in the franchise, I guess. So it's Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3, Donkey Kong Country Returns, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I know a lot of people, even Captain Algebra, who like loves the Donkey Kong Country games, thinks that this one is not that great. I played it briefly. I have not played it very much because I wanted to be able to play. I wanted to play through all of them in like order. Not that I care about story or anything like that, but I just wanted to like play through them because I just had to wait till I got all of the ones on the Super Nintendo, which I do have now. I do have Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Wii. Now I have this. So yeah, it's like your standard, typical side-scrolling Donkey Kong Country game, just not developed by Rare, which is kind of sad. I wish that Microsoft hadn't bought Rare. That way we could keep on getting awesome games from them on Nintendo consoles. But it wasn't meant to be. There's another one I never opened. I don't even remember where I got this, but Epic Mickey 2, The Power of Two. I played a little bit of Epic Mickey, which was kind of a fun 3D platformer with this painting mechanic that you had to use the Wiimote in order to use. And so, like, I thought it would be pretty fun to play the sequel, and I hear that this one's not that great. So I'm glad I never bothered to open it. But it looks like more of the same, but now you can play a co-op with, what's his name, Howard? Oswald, the precursor to Mickey Mouse. Showa. But yeah, I hear it's not that great. Here, I love the movie franchise. It sucks. But you know me and my license games, I had to have this. This is available for multiple consoles too, but I just ended up getting the Wii U version because it's the version I found first. That is Fast and the Furious Showdown. And it's just like a racing combat game. Kind of like Burnout, but a little bit more combat oriented. And I think it follows a little bit of the plot of some of the movies, but not like full on. Like it just has some of the scenarios from the movies in it. And I played it briefly, and it's not that bad. It's actually pretty fun. It's got a decent sense of speed, and the cars control decent, so can't complain. This was one of the games that I had bought at one point in time at a GameStop and then get home and they didn't put the disc in it, like I talked about during the PlayStation 3 streams. And I had to buy this game basically twice because the first time I bought it, there was no disc. Brought it back, we don't have a disc in stock. Well, why did you put it on the frickin' shelf? Found it at another GameStop, and I actually said, let me know if you don't have the disc? That's Game and Wario. I think this is the only like WarioWare game I actually own for a Nintendo console. There's plenty of them available. I think this is the only one I have. But it's just a bunch of like really quick, like maybe 5-second at the most long, like mini games, and they just are thrown at you in a constant stream. So it's about adapting fast, and it uses the control pad in different ways depending on what the mini game is. I always liked the idea of it. Never actually played one until I got this, and I actually found it kind of fun. I was trying to get people to play that during one of my little birthday get-togethers, but everyone was just kind of like, Smash Bros, Smash Bros, Smash Bros. Next up we have, I remember what's his name? Adam Koralik talking about this in one of his videos, and another one that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. Like, get it while you can kind of thing. This game might be a hot commodity later on, so get it while it's available. And I was like, all right. So I jumped on the Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams Director's Cut. So Gianna Sisters started off on the Commodore 64, and it was a Super Mario Brothers clone, but instead of brothers, it was sisters. It played basically the same, and there was like a cease and desist sent up by Nintendo to stop sales, and then it was available like as bootlegs and stuff after that. But the franchise continued because it stopped being like the Mario Brothers games. It's still a side-scrolling platformer like Mario Brothers, but it's not copying it anymore. In this one, you have like a light and a dark universe that you can switch between. And then as you're in the dark universe, you become like an evil version of your character. And then you become the light version of your character. Each one has a little bit of different abilities, and you have to collect items in both versions of the stage kind of thing. So you're swapping between the two dimensions, I guess, constantly as you are playing. And it's actually pretty fun. Graphics are really cool, too. I do like how everything kind of looked a little bit claymation-y, especially when it comes to the big bosses and stuff. I thought it was pretty fun, but I don't think it ever became this hot commodity that Adam Koralik thought it was going to be. The other one either. Had to get Hyrule Warriors. I love my Musou games. Musou. What's up, J-Chip? Going pretty good. How's it going with you? Absolutely had to get the Legend of Zelda version of a Dynasty Warriors game. And this like was the first one. I mean, well, they did like a Gundam one for the PS3 and the 360 and all that. But like for me, this is where like the different franchise things kind of kicked off, where they were like, Nintendo was like, dude, we'll give you our IPs, make games out of them. So they did a Hyrule, or they did one with Legend of Zelda, they did one with Fire Emblem. Absolutely love this. Still haven't beaten it though. I'm at the last boss, but for some reason they make you play as Zelda, and for some reason I just have a hard time playing with Zelda. I don't know why. But yeah, super awesome game. Like all the different characters from the franchise that you like unlock and are able to play as along the course. The music, the remixes of the music is fantastic. I absolutely love this. I want to get this on the 3DS so I can play it on the go. But absolutely love this game. Like this was the game that I would, whenever a friend that was not familiar with the Wii U would come over, like especially my buddy Charlie, who shows up in the stream sometime as Epic Die Studio. He came over one time and he was like, what are you playing? And I was like, oh, I'm playing my Wii U. And he was watching me play. He's like, that's kind of cool. I was like, yeah, it's like a Zelda beat 'em up. This is the game I would show people to be like, you need to get a Wii U. It's actually pretty fantastic. Hyrule Warriors is so much fun. I still need to play the sequel, though. That's on the Switch. Okay, moving on. This was one of the, out of all, like I said, Nintendo, the games that Nintendo was making in-house for the Wii U, like they were basically they were the only ones keeping the console alive, basically. Like 9 times out of 10, the games that were coming from Nintendo for the Wii U were fantastic. Every once in a while, there was one that was kind of, this was kind of the, and that is Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. So this is the one that kind of relies on your use of the control or the gamepad. And how is that? Well, you have a stylus, and you have to draw paths for Kirby with the stylus on the gamepad, and they will appear in-game. So it's like Kirby's on the bottom of the screen, but you need to get atop of this giant wall. Kirby can't get up there. How do you do it? You draw this line to get him up there, and he will roll up there. It's the same reason why I didn't want to get a DS when it first came out. Just too much reliance on stupid gimmicky crap and not gameplay. This one kind of bugged the hell out of me. So I remember playing it for like the day that it showed up. I played it the all night long. But by the end, I was like, I don't even know if I want to play this tomorrow. Or maybe the day after that, because I got so sick of how gimmicky it was. So not a big fan of this. It's not a bad game. It's just like I don't like the mechanic. Kirby games, on the other hand, are fantastic. This was the other one that Adam Koralik was kind of saying is going to be like a hot commodity at some point. So I ran out and bought it at the local Target, and I still haven't opened it because I didn't know what the hell it was. And that is Legend of K Anniversary, and this is the one that has the white case. I think it was the first run. Didn't know what the hell Legend of K was. Why do we get a remaster of it? Why do we need a remaster of it? Turns out it was like a indie game, like an indie 3D platformer, kind of like Jak and Daxter or Ratchet and Clank. That came out for like the PS2. Never heard of it when it came out for the PS2, But apparently some people liked it because it got a freaking remaster on this. Never heard of it. Didn't really care. I bought it because maybe down the line I'll try to sell it. I don't think it's worth a goddamn thing. But yeah, it looks like your standard 3D, beat 'em up from that era. So yay. It eventually came out like on the PS4, if I remember right. Kirby's Epic Yarn. Kirby's Epic Yarn is fun, though. That's the thing. Yeah, it's all right. I don't hear anybody saying Legend of K. Now, that's the game that needs a remaster. Never had the need to open this, but of course, when I'm streaming, Flash is like, Adobe is like, hey, I need to update your Flash player. And open a separate window. You suck, computer. Anyway, because I ended up getting this for the Switch, and I played the Switch version, but this one is still sealed, and it might be worth something at some point. I don't know. But that's Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So before I had a Switch, I was like, well, if I want to play the game, I'll get it for the Wii U, because Nintendo seems to do this. There's always, like, during a new console's launch, they always seem to release a new Zelda game. Like they did it with the between the GameCube and the Wii, and they released a copy of Twilight Princess on both consoles, and then they did the same thing between the Wii and the Wii U with this. I'm sorry, with did they do it between the Wii and the Wii U? No, I don't think they did. But the Switch, between the Wii U and the Switch, they released this. So my intention was originally I'm going to buy it on the Wii U so I can play it on the Wii U, but then I got a Switch not too long after and just bought it again. And I was like, I'll just keep it sealed. Maybe it'll be worth something at some point. I don't know. Again, they made me really want to Switch. Yeah. I hear that outside of a slight graphical downgrade, that Breath of the Wild it looks almost exactly like the Switch version. But this was also the land of remasters for everything Nintendo. So I need to grab something real quick. Totally forgot that this was sitting here. Boom. Do I have another one? I don't think so. I do not. Okay. Sorry, I totally forgot to grab something earlier. That is dusty AF. Holy crap. Anyway, Nintendo, this is where they started remastering all their games. And the first big one was Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. So this is that one that I was just talking about that came out between the GameCube and the Wii. And they remastered it in HD, and it looks absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love this game. It is super fun. Got stuck on it on the Wii version, but I never played through this all the way on the Wii U. I tried it out when it first came out, and fantastic. I absolutely love it. I kept on saying I'm going to come back. And you want to talk about those amiibos there. I bought I don't know what this is called, the collector's edition. Well, whatever, this gift set or whatever that came with a Wolf Link amiibo. And I've kept it inside its outer box. So this sits on my shelf right over here. Haven't opened the Wolf Link because reasons. But it's fantastic. It's a great remaster. And then they remastered the one that I did not give a shit about. Yeah, I know it was on the Wii. The remaster came out on the Wii U, though. That game is going for quite a bit. Would you say the Wii U version of Twilight Princess is the best? So far, yeah, unless they do it again on the Switch. But then, because that was such a hit, hey now, let's remaster the Wind Waker. My least favorite Zelda game of all time. Captain Algebra and I bonded over our dislike of this. Our mutual dislike. I hate Toon Link. I hated it from the moment I saw the artwork, way back when the game was released on the GameCube. Absolutely despised it. I thought it was the ugliest shit. And I was like, I always thought Link was supposed to be like a teen on the verge of becoming an adult, like maybe like 18, 19, and all of a sudden they make him look like he's like 8 years old. And it was really bad. Did not like the art style with like the giant anime eyes and the big oversized head and the teeny tiny little legs. Did not like the sailing. Didn't like anything about it. Absolutely hated it. I like cell shaded graphics. I just did not like the way they were implemented here. I just could not stand it, but it didn't stop me from buying it because trying to get all the Link stuff or the Zelda stuff. So I had to have it. But I did not buy the big oversized amiibo box set thing because I just didn't give a shit. So I just got it standalone used, I think, at the what's it called? The disc replay that was over by my work. So yay. But this one was like going for a bunch of money at one point in time. Like this became like one of those random games that you never would expect to become worth a lot of money. The price just shot up out of freaking nowhere. I don't know why. I don't know if there was getting canned or like it was going in moratorium, taken off the market or whatever. But for some reason, it was going for like over $100. And I was like, why? I don't get the way this game market is working. Like there has to be a reason for it. And like maybe somebody just drove the price up artificially. I don't know. But it's stupid, especially for what game it is. Luckily, I bought it on the downswing when I guess people realized, why are we paying $100 for this game? Or why are we charging $100 for this game? So, whatever. I bought it when it dropped back down in price. That is Lego City Undercover. What the hell? So, I do believe at the time that this came out, it was an exclusive for the Wii. It was like one of the few exclusives from a third-party company. So, I don't know. I mean, Nintendo apparently released it. But whatever. It's basically Grand Theft Auto with a Lego skin on it. It's kid-friendly Grand Theft Auto. And you're playing as a cop instead of a criminal. That's kind of a fun idea, I thought. Let's see what a kid-friendly... And it's fun. It is fun. I mean, I love the Lego games. I love all of them. They all play exactly the same, but it's a fun... It's a fun set of controls and all that kind of stuff, and the way the games play. It's all entertaining. So why not take it out of a license like they normally do and just make an original game about it and make an open world? It actually is pretty fun. Eventually it came out for other consoles, though. There's always money in amiibos. Nah. Nah. Naturally, I also ended up buying the Lego movie video game. Still have not seen this movie. I'm a movie guy, and I still have not seen this movie. It's one of those ones I keep forgetting about exists. And I was going to say, if I got one game, because this came out for every console known to man at the time, every handheld, all that. But I was like, if I get it, I'm just going to get it for the Wii U because I have the undercover for it, so whatever. So I'm assuming it's exactly the same as your standard Lego game, just all about the movie based on said toy. Have not played it. But it looks fun. I don't know if a game ever came out for part 2. If it did, let me know. Is this the one that was a bitch? Yeah, this one was. Or was it this? No, it was this one. Okay. I think so. Yeah, I think this was the paint. So there's 2 Mario and Sonic Olympic games out there. And one of them, which I do believe is this one, the Rio 2016, got released and then immediately got pulled off the market for some reason. I don't know why. So it was available for a month, and then all of a sudden it was scarce. You could not find it anywhere, and the price shot through the freaking roof. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if it was a licensing thing and it just wasn't able to be sold. I don't know what the story is at all. All of a sudden it was nowhere to be found, and everybody was dying to get a copy. Luckily, I found one at a GameStop, and it had not gone through the roof there yet. That was the one thing I loved about GameStop, was they never seemed to keep up with the games market, the way it worked. It was whatever the retail was set, and whatever the used copy was, going for through corporate was set. It was never anything else. So this is going for over $100, maybe more in some places, and it's still selling used for $39.99 at GameStops, around the country. And I luckily found one at a GameStop. So got a copy of it. Have not really played it. I just wanted to have it because it was eventually I'm going to want to play some multiplayer games with friends. These actually do seem quite fun. So I was trying to buy as many of these types of games as I possibly could for when people came over. Just haven't actually gotten around to playing it. But then there was also the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games, Sochi 2014. This one I have not played. It is still sealed. But it's the exact same MO. It's just this one's all about the winter sports. So ice skating, hockey, like skiing, snowboarding, bobsledding, all that kind of stuff. It sounds fun. I'll play it eventually. But for some reason, that Rio 2016 one, don't know what the hell happened there. But here's the game, or one of the games I wanted to buy my Wii U for, and that was Mario Kart 8. I absolutely love this game. So I had, like, a year prior to getting my Wii U, I had just gotten my 3DS, discovered the Mario Kart franchise because I had never played it before through the DS version, Mario Kart DS. Eventually got Mario Kart 7. But then when I got the Wii version, that's where my love of the franchise took off. So when I started seeing what you were able to do in Mario Kart 8, I was like, I need to have that day one. I got my Wii U. I'm definitely buying Mario Kart 8 day one. And that's exactly what I did. And this one is Amiibo enabled as well. And it's fantastic. It's a great game. I love all of the stages. All they never really do seem to really. It's hard to explain, or at least for me to put into words. When you play a bunch of Mario Kart games in a row, the stages all seem like they're themed exactly the same in each game. It's just the road is laid out a little bit differently, but they manage to still make them fun. Like it doesn't get tired like some other racing games do. And I absolutely love this game. I played the shit out of it. I played more of this game on the Wii U than I have on the Switch. Like, I absolutely loved it. The Sonic games I could care less about. Yeah. I love almost every snowboarding game, and Sonic on a snowboard is probably pretty good. I remember playing the one on the Wii that I have that came in the yellow box. That one was okay. So, like, I was just trying to get a collection together, too, at the same time, guys. Don't forget that. You can snowboard in that game with Sonic and Tails. Yes, you can. This, I think, was one of the last new Wii games I bought before the console went under. That is Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. I really did not think that the Mario sports games would ever really take off. Like when they started on, I think it was the Nintendo 64 with like Mario Golf or whatever it was. But they all end up being pretty fun. Like even Mario Strikers on the GameCube is actually pretty fun. But the reviews for this one were kind of lukewarm, so I kind of I avoided buying it like on day one. I eventually went to Target and they were starting to clearance out the Wii stuff years after the Wii went off the market, which is kind of stupid. It was one of those things where like Nintendo games just don't go down in price at retail stores. Stupid as hell. But it was like a year and a half after the Wii U like was taken off the market, they finally decided to start clearancing these out to make room for more new games. And I picked it up for I think $29.99, which was fine. And it's basically Mario Tennis, like the title suggests, but there's a couple of other mini games mixed in there too. And it's okay. It's been opened. I played it a little bit. Too generic, yeah. Like it's all right. I hate this. I've never played this in any form, but I wanted to get this because this was made by Telltale Games. It's the only reason I bought it. It hasn't been opened yet. I haven't played it, so I can't really comment on it, but anything by Telltale is cool in my book. That is this Minecraft story mode, the complete adventure. So the Telltale licensed Minecraft, made like a 5-episode choose your own adventure type of thing that they always do. And this has all 5 episodes mixed in there. And it's not like you're actually playing Minecraft. It's actually like a story. But I've never actually played Minecraft proper. And I have no intention to ever do that as well. I do not like those types of games. I watched my cousin, who ended up being like a hacker for like an 8-year-old, I think at the time, 8 or 9-year-old that he was, hacking into people's accounts and like griefing, he called it, people's accounts. Like he'd break into your account and then trash everything that you've built. You've spent all your time building. And I was like, wow, you're kind of a dick. But yeah, this is the only way I'm ever going to play anything Minecraft related is through this. So I picked that up, but I haven't played it yet. It's still sealed. Had to get this. That is the NES Remix Pack. They also released this on the 3DS. And it's basically a bunch of classic NES games. And there's like little things hidden within that you can do. That's what the remix part of it is. Like little extras added in. So you can play like Donkey Kong, Punch-Out, Legend of Zelda, Mario 3, Metroid, Kirby, and all that. But there's like new little aspects added into it. And this has part 1 and part 2 on one disc, which is kind of fantastic. And because I think these originally came out on the 3DS. Do I actually have these for the 3DS? I do not. Maybe I should look those up because that'd be fun to play on the go. But yeah, this one I got used. You can tell the back got kind of ripped in transit. NES Classics return with a twist. Hell yeah. Had to get that. This is the game that came with my Wii U when I bought it. Not what I wanted it to come with because I wanted to get that Mario Kart 8 bundle, but this is what I ended up settling for, and I have talked about how much I don't like this version of this character's games many times before. That is new Super Mario Brothers U, and it also comes with new Super Luigi U. I do not like the new Super Mario Brothers games. I think it's like, yeah, it's cool that they went back to like a side-scrolling platformer like the original games with modern graphics. I just think they're super slow and boring. I just don't like them. I don't at all. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll like the Luigi one. No, the Luigi one is exactly the same, except it focuses on Luigi. Yippee skippy. I could give a crap. Yeah, but whatever. I popped this in when I first brought my Wii U home to try it out, and I have not popped it in since. So this is, I guess, the pack-in originally with the original Wii U when it was first released. So this is like the Nintendo demo disc kind of thing. Nintendo Land is just a bunch of little mini games that show you exactly what you can do with the gamepad. And I bought this on eBay, I think the day after I got my Wii U, and I was like, yeah, whatever. It's just a bunch of little stupid dinky mini games. None of them are all that fun. I think the only one I kind of enjoyed was the one where you're like a ninja and you're throwing Chinese stars or the shurikens, you know, by sliding your hand across the gamepad. That was about it. There was a Metroid E1 I do remember being kind of okay too. But outside of that, like I said, it's just a demo disc to show you what the console can do. No big whoop. Aren't the new Mario U games meant to be played with 4 players? Yeah, they are, but it's still boring to me. It's just like the games move really slowly compared to the original Mario games, and it kind of bugs me. I don't know what it is. It just gets on my nerves. I had to get this. I think this is based on a Saturday morning cartoon, but Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. And I think this is just like a 3D Pac-Man game, like a 3D actual adventure Pac-Man game. I haven't actually played it. But it looks like it has some Pac-Man mini-games, and they were actually playing the old arcade game, different variations of it, but whatever. I thought it looked kind of cool, so I picked it up. It was dirt cheap. Also picked this one up on day one, and this came with something too, like stickers or something. But Paper Mario Color Splash. No, it was the 3DS version that came with like little temporary tattoos or something. Yeah, I hear this one's not all that great either. Like the Paper Mario games started to kind of like lose their way after the Wii. So I hear that this one and the one that's on the Switch is not all that great. But it's just another pseudo RPG adventure game. This is another one of the games that I got at a GameStop. The price had jumped up because I think it was when they announced that they were going to start up production on certain games. It was this and Bayonetta. And I ended up running to another GameStop to get a copy of this that was kind of out of the way because it was the only one in the area that had it. And that is Pikmin 3. Why Nintendo would want to put the kibosh on like one of their flagship franchises, but just had a 4th one come out for the Switch. I don't know, but this was getting very hard to get, and the price was rising very quickly, and I snagged it before it got too high. But like I said, GameStop seems to like not give a crap about what prices games are going for. So I played this quite a bit. It's really, really fun. I like the new Pikmin style, the black one that is like made out of coal. I thought it was really fun to control him or to use him in fights and whatnot. It was a really fun game. I love this franchise already. So the way the graphics in this one looked were pretty cool because they used a lot of like deep focus kind of things. Like Nintendo started experimenting. Like there was games that looked like everything was made out of yarn. There was ones that things looked like they were made out of clay. So like that. This one kind of used like filmmaking tricks to make, because it's like you're looking at everything like under like a macro lens almost. It's kind of interesting the way they did it. I really liked it. It made it feel filmic, I guess. So I haven't played this. I don't think I got the one that comes with the special thing. No, it does not. But I got this on the secondhand market. That is Pokken Tournament. This is the Pokemon / Tekken game, which I was like, what is happening? Why do we need to have these two things combined? And this was supposed to come with an amiibo card for Mewtwo. But since I bought this on the secondhand market, it didn't come with that, but I didn't really care. I was just trying to get like all the exclusive games for the Wii U before it went under and the prices jumped up, so I picked this one up. And this uses amiibos, obviously, as well. And it's a one-on-one fighting game that uses the rules of a Tekken game with Pokemon characters. You know how much I love Tekken. I bought this one because I think it was, what's it, Alpha Omega Sin, who I stopped watching a long time ago because his shtick just got real old to me. Said that this was the best version of this game because of the screen that's in the gamepad controller. So I picked up Resident Evil Revelations here on the Wii U instead of like on the PS3 or whatever because of that. And I still have not played these games. I'm still trying to work my way through the Resident Evil franchise, and I need to get to the point where I can actually play these games. These aren't canonically, I mean, they have characters from the other games in them, but I don't think these are considered part. It's like a little side story thing that don't really have any impact on anything else. This and Revelations 2. So I've not played it yet, but I have it if I want to. And I had to get this because of Radical Reggie. Radical Reggie was like, hey, if you see a copy of this, get it for the Wii U, not anything else, because it comes with the previous version of the game from the previous console, which is actually the better version than the Wii U version. We're talking Rhodia, the Sky Soldier. So I guess this game originally came out on the Wii. I don't know if it came out over here. If it came out over here, I never saw it. And then they remastered it for the Wii U. But everyone kept on saying, don't worry about the Wii U version. Just get it for the Wii version. Because the Wii version is the better version. And I think this is kind of like playing Sin and Punishment a little bit, where you're like running along on the ground and you have like a reticle that you use to shoot people or enemies that are coming at you in the air or along the ground kind of thing. And it sounded really fun. So I picked that up at Radical Reggie's recommendation. Where are we at? Here's another one that I bought that I was told. I don't think it was Adam Cora. Maybe it was Reggie. I don't remember. Somebody told me, get that because that's going to be another one of those games that's going to be a hot commodity. Turns out it came out on every freaking console out there. So, nope. Once again, that is Runbow Deluxe Edition. I think this is like one of those running simulators. Or like where you're just running and there's obstacles in your way or something. I've never played it because it's still sealed. But it comes with a soundtrack. It includes the original game soundtrack. Ooh. I can't play it because it's still sealed. Ooh. And then I got both of these at the exact same time at Disc Replay for like $5 or $6 each. So I did not want to pass that up. That is these two Scribblenauts games. So there's Scribblenauts Unlimited and Scribblenauts Unmasked. So Unlimited is essentially just a bigger version of the games that came out, I do believe, on the DS than the 3DS, where you can draw things with the stylus on screen and you will actually, that thing will appear in the game for you to use. So like, I need a knife. You draw a knife. You have a knife now as a weapon. I need a sword. I draw a sword. The sword is used as a weapon now, kind of thing. Cool idea, I will admit. I think that's pretty rad. So you draw what you need to help you beat the puzzle or the obstacle in your way. And then they made another one. This is this Unmasked one. And this one is DC Universe themed. So the same concept, but you're using characters that are like little chibi versions of DC Universe characters, which is pretty cool. That sounded really fun to me too. I enjoy that franchise. This was, I think, one of the last games released for the Wii U. Maybe not the final one. I don't know. I don't know where this sits on like the timeline. But I ended up ordering this from, what is it, V-Blank Entertainment. That is Shakedown Hawaii. So this is like an old throwback to the old Grand Theft Auto games before they went 3D, when it was like a top-down, hard to control, hard to see what you're doing piece of crap. And naturally, I was like, give it to me, exclusive. Oh, haven't opened it yet. It's still sealed, but I hear it's actually not too bad, but I will probably never know. I don't know why I still have this. Well, nostalgia, basically. So, one of the other reasons I wanted to get a Wii U outside of Super Mario 3D World was because of this game. I had been reading about it and hearing about it online for a little while. It was, I think, a Kickstarted game, if I remember right. And it sounded like so much fun. So, you know my stance on digital games, right? This game did not have a physical release when I got my Wii U, but I was so dead set on playing it that I broke my little contract with myself and downloaded this day one. Day I got my Wii U, downloaded this and played it immediately. And a couple of my friends that were always coming over, and my buddy Josh specifically, that I was doing that Toasty show with for a little while, every time he would come over to record a show, he's like, "Can I play a little bit of that Shovel Knight?" And that's what it is, Shovel Knight, the original version. I absolutely love this game. This is one of my favorite games of all time. This case is so freaking heavy because of this freaking manual. This manual is so damn thick for a platformer that plays like a copy of like a combination of Mega Man and DuckTales. And it also has a copy of the soundtrack to download in here, which is fantastic. Jake Kaufman, fantastic music in this game and all of the little extra add-on sequels, whatever have you. Absolutely fantastic. Old school throwback to like I guess like a cross between a Nintendo and a Super Nintendo game. The music definitely sounds like an old school throwback, but it controls so well. It is so much fun. So many secrets and everything. One of my favorite games of all time. And I think that's probably the reason why I've kept this version, because I have the treasure trove version on the PS4. Why would I have the base version of the game by itself? Nostalgia, because I absolutely played the crap out of that on my Wii U. I probably played a digital game more than I played any of my physical games. That's kind of saying something. Only reason this is in my collection is because of Way Forward. This is when I was trying to collect all those Way Forward games. I was buying a bunch of crap. I think the next one is one too, isn't it? Or is it because this is an exclusive? It might be because this is an exclusive. I don't know. Anyway, The Smurfs 2. Did not see the movie, the first one either. I don't care about the movies. I'm not 8 years old anymore. I don't give a crap about the Smurfs. Smurfette is still hot. Wasn't that Katy Perry or something? I don't know. But Way Forward made the game, and I still have not played the game. I don't care to play the game. But as you can see right there, it's by Way Forward. That's the only reason it's in my collection. I don't know why I bought this. Maybe this was an exclusive or a timed exclusive or something for the Wii U. I don't know why I bought it. Maybe it was cheap. I don't know. But Snoopy's Grand Adventure. So it's like a spinoff of the Peanuts movie that came out at the time, the little CGI Peanuts movie, which I still have not seen. I thought I bought this because of Way Forward, but they didn't develop this. I don't know why it's in my collection, but it's like a platformer starring Snoopy. Yay. I don't know why that's in my collection. I really don't. Had to get this, even though everyone was saying this is like the worst game of all time. You want to talk about like how people bitched and moaned about Cyberpunk 2077 when it came out being all glitchy and shit? Oh, man. Remember this? Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, like the worst Sonic game ever made. I mean, like, what's worse, this or Sonic 06? This game was just like a big-ass, buggy mess when it was released. And like it got I think some of the worst reviews a Sonic game has ever gotten. And they even released a cartoon, I think, about this or something. Or based on this, thinking it was going to be a huge hit. Nope. Apparently it did get patched, and it is in a very playable state now, which is when I bought it. But I bought it used. I was not going to buy this brand new. And I played it for a little while, and it's okay. It's like almost like Sonic Adventure. But, yeah, it's a 3D Sonic game. I don't think Sonic in 3D has ever been all that great, even Sonic Adventure. But this is classic Sonic 2D games. Hell yeah. I did not see the Great Pumpkin in it, Peter. I'm sorry. I have not gotten that far. And then there's also the one that I have not played because it's still sealed, and that is Sonic Lost World. I remember absolutely nothing about this game. I think I found it pretty cheap on Amazon, and I bought it, and I have not even bothered to play it. So if anybody knows anything about Lost World, say so in the chat. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it worth breaking out of the plastic? 2D all the way. Hell yeah. Here's another one that I have not opened because I do not do the online play thing. I actually got this one of the very few times I've ever seen Nintendo stuff on like sale during Black Friday was when I bought this. It's meh. I figured. Had no interest in this. I still have no interest in this franchise because it's all about online play, and I could give a crap about online play. If it doesn't have an offline single player mode, get out of here. And that is the original Splatoon, the one that started it all. This one is definitely Amiibo enabled. I remember the Amiibos of this being every single place I ever went. Even like you go to restaurants and they'd be selling the Amiibos to Splatoon. You go to a Chinese buffet and they're sitting on the counter next to the little tchotchkes that you can buy, like the little cat like this with his hand up. But yeah, it's a multiplayer third-person shooter. But instead of like shooting each other, you're trying to like cover the most amount of real estate in the air on the stage with your colored paint, your team's colored paint. Sure. And then if you have a big like lake worth of it, you can dive into it you turn into an octopus or a little squid person, you can swim through it. Okay. Sure. If I'm 12, maybe. Had to get this. Absolutely love this franchise. I was super stoked about this. When it was announced, I was like, hell yeah, I'm pre-ordering that shit, which is why I got the big box version, and that is Star Fox Zero, and it came with an actual extra game. That's Star Fox Guard. So you figure your classic Star Fox style game behind, in the cockpit or outside. Excuse me, got the belchies. Only thing is, for some reason, the game is set to default mode as using the gyroscope in the gamepad, which means you have to sit in a chair that can swivel so that you can turn yourself around to see through the cockpit to see where your enemies are. Everyone freaking rebelled. All you had to do was a little bit of experimentation, people, and you would have found out that you can turn it off and play it standard, which is what I did. And the game is pretty fun. I enjoy it. It is a classic Star Fox style game. I think it's a remake. Is this one a remake of 64? I can't remember. See, my thing was, if you really look at that design where the little Japanese symbol is, it looks like there's a 3 underneath it. So I'm thinking this was originally developed to be Star Fox 3, and then they decided to change it to like a prequel kind of thing. But I always thought that this ended up being like a remake of 64, but I can't be positive. I don't remember. But I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. And then the extra game you got, I've never actually played it. It is still sealed as well, and that is Star Fox Garden. I think this one is like a strategy game. No need to download the special demos for Star Fox Guard. That's available via Star Fox Zero. You've already got the full game right here. That's all it says on the back. There is no gameplay footage on it, just a bunch of pictures of some characters. But I think it's like a strategy game, I do believe. But I have not played it, so I can't comment. People don't like to do things, Chris. Don't ask them to do the experiments. Apparently so, because I saw so many people online complaining about, like, this is the worst purchase I ever made. I've wasted my money. I don't have a swivel chair. I don't have one of those computer chairs. How am I supposed to play this on my couch? This is some bullshit. And then I was like, yeah, but if you go into the menus, there's a way to turn it off. You can just play it like a normal Star Fox game. Just look. Just use your brain. And then the game that I bought my damn Wii U for, and that is Super Mario 3D World Family Game of the Year Edition. This is a fantastic Mario game. This is one of my all-time favorite Mario games. I did a short a couple of months back talking about like my 3 favorite Mario games, and this was on the list. I absolutely love the cat suit. The cat suit is fantastic. The little meowing sounds that Mario makes. The way the stages are laid out, the perspective is great. It was like a real welcome change up to the formula. I absolutely loved it. And as a multiplayer game, it's actually really fun too. And all the new power-ups, like getting like the multiple Marios. So you have like 4 Marios or 4 or 5 Marios at once jumping around. Super fun. I absolutely loved it. I played through this like you would not believe. I absolutely love this game. And the one on the 3DS. Super cool. And then that's this one I remember, like, we had our company summer picnic at like a park near where our work site is. And I left early because I was like, oh, after work, I'm going to go and pick up a copy of this game. Halfway through the picnic, I started calling the local Target. And I'm like, hey, do you have any copies of so-and-so left? And they were like, yeah, we have one. I'm like, can you put it aside for me? I'll be right there. And they were like, yeah, sure. And I ran over there and picked up the last copy of Super Mario Maker. So I left my company picnic early to go and buy this. And the funny thing was, this is one of those games I didn't think was going to be a big seller, but apparently it was. And the thing is, different stores had different like in-game bonuses for pre-ordering. So if you went to Target, which is where I went, you got a Rubik's Cube, and I should actually probably go get that. That's in the other room. That's a little tchotchke thing. Hang on, I'll be right back. Ooh. Okay, so what is Wii U? It's not a Wii. But it is one. Anyway. Yeah, you use that. Yeah. Not going to let that money go to waste, Peter. Come on. So the thing was, like I said, you had different pre-order bonuses depending on where you got the game. You might have gotten a poster somewhere, which I ended up picking up at the Midwest Gaming Classic. Nintendo was there giving them away for free. This big, long Mario timeline poster that's like 4 foot long and not even a foot tall. Weird. But I went to Target and I did not pre-order this thing. So I walk in there and I'm like, hey, I called about the Super Mario Maker, and the guy that was or the girl that was behind the counter was like, oh yeah, here you go. And she brings it out, and I lean forward a little bit and I go, you wouldn't happen to have any extra pre-order bonuses, would you? And she goes, yeah, they gave us a bunch of extras just in case, like some got damaged or something. And I was like, think I can get one of those? Because I had heard that day that if you didn't pre-order, they would sell like the pre-order to the stores. They would sell to you for like one of the pre-order bonuses for like $5 if they had extras. So I was like, I was ready to pay an extra $5. I didn't care. I was like, you think I can get one of those pre-order bonuses? And she goes, and if you ever seen the original Beverly Hills Cop, there's that scene where Eddie Murphy is trying to get away from the cops that are following him. So he walks up to Damon Wayans in the lobby of his hotel, who is selling like fruit plates, and he buys a bunch of bananas from Damon Wayans that he's going to stuff up the tailpipe of the cops' cars so their car stalls out and they can't follow him. And the way Damon Wayans goes, you go ahead, you take those bananas. That was kind of what happened with this. So I was like, you think I can get one of those pre-order bonuses? And she goes, you go ahead, you take that pre-order bonus. And it is a Mario-themed Rubik's Cube. Each side has a different image of something Mario-related. And I got this absolutely free. She just gave it to me. She just handed it right across the counter to me. And I was like, well, thank you. Sometimes being nice pays off, people. And I was not being a dick. I was not being flirty. I just asked a simple question as nicely as I possibly could, and she just handed it over to me. She could have charged me $5. There's a barcode on this thing, isn't there? Yeah, right there. She could have sold it to me for $5, but she did not. Anyway, so what comes with Mario Maker in this oversized box thing? And it's basically like this layout of like the way they're suggesting you could build stages. So the whole point of Mario Maker, you all probably have played this or a variation of it. Part 2 is available on the Switch, which is also very popular. You make your own stages with the assets from all the, Mario Brothers 1, Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario World, and New Super Mario Brothers. Yeah. Any of the side-scrolling ones, you were able to use the assets from those to make new stages, and then you would share them online with your friends to play, or just to put them out online for people to play. And then you would get like a percentage whenever you would check on your game that you had uploaded to their server, how many people have actually completed it, how many people have played it, how many stars they have given you. And I made one stage for this thing, and I tried to make the hardest goddamn thing ever. It was all just about precision jumping, like absolute precision. And I called it F to me A. And Nintendo actually let that slide. It's still there. if these are still online, I don't know if the first one is. But, I mean, the entire time this was available online, I would check, and it had a very low completion rate. It had like a 4 or 5% completion rate last time I checked, which I thought was pretty funny. But super fun. You basically just make your own stages with Mario assets, and it is awesome. I thought it was a great idea. I thought I was going to kick off this whole Maker franchise within Nintendo. Like, we're going to get a Zelda. Can you imagine making like your own Legend of Zelda, like original Legend of Zelda game, like the original NES one? That would have been so awesome. Making like Legend of Zelda Dungeons your own. That would have been awesome. Making Metroid stages from the original Metroid game would have been great. Stuff like that would have been awesome. I mean, Excitebike had that available on the NES back in the day. Why couldn't we get more like that? I would have absolutely loved a Maker franchise, but Nintendo never ran with it. I think it's their loss. I think that's a franchise that they completely missed out on. I felt like you were being flirty with me just now. Really? Really? Was it? Oh, Peter. And then the big game, the one that was the hardest game to find for this freaking console that apparently nobody owned until this thing came out. That is Super Smash Brothers for Wii U, which eventually got re-released on the Switch as Super Smash Brothers Ultimate because it had a bunch of the DLC mixed into it. But yeah, like here I am thinking nobody has a Wii U, nobody buys them. No one I know has one outside of like the YouTubers that I know. But like no one at work has one, none of their kids have one, none of my friends have one, locally. Okay, sure, I'm just going to walk into a GameStop and get it. I walked into 3 freaking GameStops the day that this was released because I forgot to pre-order it, and there was a line out the freaking door to get their pre-orders and and it came out on the same day as I think 2 Pokemon games, if I remember correctly, because there was a combination of people in there for the new Pokemon games for the 3DS and this. And I lost my freaking mind. Like, I couldn't even get someone to add. I was like, there's 30 people in this damn store and I'm waiting in line. I just went like, do you have any copies of Smash Brothers in stock for sale? And I would get ignored. I'm like, oh, that's all you had to say. And I would have turned, and if they said no, I would have turned around and walked out. No, I had to wait in this long ass line just to get to the front 3 different times just to be able to ask them a question because they would ignore you. And you get to the front, do you have any copies of Smash Brothers for sale? No. You could have told me that, a half an hour ago, lady, and I would walk out all pissed. And the same thing with that adapter to let you play the GameCube. Use the GameCube controllers for this. No one had them. So I said, the hell with GameStop. I'm going to go and try the local Target. So I walk into my local Target, and there's this like nervous-looking dude just standing behind the counter. Just I'm like, hey, you have any copies of that Super Smash Brothers for the Wii U? And the guy goes, yeah. I'm like, can I buy one? He goes, I don't know. We still have some pre-orders. And I'm like, I'm here right now. I wasn't trying to be a dick. I was being polite about it. I was like, I'm here right now. I'm like, I'll buy one. And the guy goes, yeah, okay. He just gave it to me and sold it to me. I was like, great. I should have come here first. I wasted an hour and a half of my day trying to get answers out of asshole GameStop employees. And I just had to go. I should have just gone to the Target originally, which is why I did what I did with Super Mario Maker. But super fun. I still say this is probably my favorite Super Smash Brothers game. Originally, I would have probably said Melee on the GameCube was, but until I played, not this one specifically, but Ultimate's probably my favorite Smash Brothers game now. Never really liked the one on the Wii. I don't know why, just for some reason it bugged me, but this one, it was like they just perfected everything about it. Like all the characters played well, even some of the ones that I always had problems with. Like I, for some reason, never thought in a million years my main would be frickin' Kirby. I'm always like, I'm going to play as Link, or I'm going to play as Samus. No, my main is now Kirby because of this game, this one in particular. Don't ask me why. Lots of characters to unlock, and of course, amiibo functionality. Cool thing though about amiibos, though, if you use them on Super Mario Maker, you got some interesting things. Like you're not like when you play through the games, you don't have to play as Mario specifically. Like I put I think it was my Luigi. I used to have a Luigi amiibo that I carried around with me when I would have like convention. Like we went my old podcast and for Toasty, when we would make convention appearances, I would always have the Luigi amiibo sitting in front of me on the table. I just thought it was kind of fun. Only one I ever opened outside of my Shovel Knight. Anyway, you were allowed to use your like an amiibo like once a day or something like that for a certain amount of time. And every time I would put my Luigi on my gamepad to get something out of it for Super Mario Maker, I would get something interesting. Eventually, I got like a playable Link character that you can use instead of like a Mario character in the game, which I thought was kind of awesome. Yours would be Brawl. Yeah, I don't understand why everyone loves the Wii version. I can't get into that one for some reason. I don't know why. But I mean, more power to you. I mean, you like what you like, but I just can't. I can't get into that one. Don't ask me why. Next up, we have I think this was a launch game, and it was Pete Dorr was talking about it in one of his videos that he was like, it's getting kind of hard to find now for a cheap price, and it's a launch game, and it's actually okay, but it's not great. But if you see it, you might want to pick it up and stuff like that. And then I picked this up when I was in Indianapolis for Gen Con. I talked about the first year I went to Gen Con when I got back into collecting. I found all that cool stuff at their consignment store for their auction house. Second year, not so much, but I ended up going to the GameStop that was attached to the mall that's connected to the convention center and bought a whole bunch of stuff there. And that's where I found Tank, Tank, Tank. And it's basically just like World of Tanks, just tank fights. Tank, more tank. That's why it's called Tank, Tank, Tank. Tank cubed. And that's all it really is. It's just like an action game where you're playing as Tank, take out other enemies. Yay. Super complicated, guys. Had to get this one. I found this at, I think it was Half Price Books, and it was really cheap, which is why I bought it. And I've talked about how much I don't like this franchise, but you're trying to collect for a console. Tekken Tag Tournament Wii U Edition, or Tekken Tag Tournament 2. I do believe this originally came out on the either the PS2 or the PS3. And now we've got an optimized version for use with the gamepad. But yeah, I'm not a fan of Tekken. I don't like the technical fighting games where it's all about countering and timing and stuff. I want to beat the crap out of people. I don't want to count frames of animation. That's not fun to me. Still haven't played this one, but this is another one of the weird ones that got released this generation. And eventually it came out on the Switch as well, but I don't care about it enough to want to buy it again. That is Tokyo Mirage Sessions, #FE. So this is, a combination of Fire Emblem and Persona, I think? Or is it just straight up Shin Megami Tensei? I can't remember I think it might be Persona. But it's an RPG. It has a lot to do with dancing or something, if I remember right. But it's still sealed. Have not played it. Picked this one up when the Wii was on the way out, and I was buying the games really cheap. Had to get this one. I hear this one was actually a really good game in this franchise, and that is Transformers Prime, and it's based on one of the cartoons that was on at the time the Michael Bay movies were happening in the early 2010s. And I actually ended up talking about this in the Transformers game collaboration that I did on my channel years and years ago with Captain Foley from Trek Yards. And this was one of my favorite Transformers games. It's actually really, really fun. It's part platformer and part beat 'em up, and also has some racing in it. And it's really entertaining. I don't like the art style of the characters. Why does a gigantic Peterbilt truck have a little 13-inch waist? You can see Optimus Prime up there. It's stupid looking. Don't like the art style, but the gameplay is actually really fun. If you're a Transformers fan like me, it's kind of a no-brainer. Got this one when I was in LA visiting my brother. Does it still? Yep, it still has the sticker in there. Yeah, visiting my brother in LA. Went to Game Dude and found this there. And I remember people saying that this was actually a really fun first-person shooter. So I said, why the hell not? Even though I'm not a fan of this franchise, what it's licensed from, I didn't care. That is The Walking Dead Survival Instinct. And you can see at the top there's the little Game Dude sticker. And it's a first-person shooter where you're playing as Daryl Dixon with his crossbow, taking out zombies. It sounded fun to me, even though I don't like the Walking Dead show itself. I love zombies. I love first-person shooters. Why not? Some of us giant Peterbilts have tiny. Okay, Peter. Okay, you're starting to scare me. You're scaring me a little bit. Here's another one of those, I do believe, demo style games, which shows off what the console could do. So there was a version of this released on the Wii, which kind of did the same thing. So we got Wii Party U, which is basically just a bunch of mini games that show off what you can do with the gamepad. So yay. Shows you how much interest I had in playing it. Still sealed. Had to get this because this was developed by Platinum Games, not Treasure, Platinum Games. And it was one of the first games I bought for the console when I got it, because I remember I bought Nintendo Land and the Wii Party U and this at the same time while I was at work off of my phone on Amazon. And that is the wonderful 101. It's a weird kind of beat 'em up where you like gather an entourage together, and you can have like 101 people in your entourage. And the bigger the group of people that are with you, you can become big items to use to fight. So you can become like a big ass fist made of people to punch through something or punch an enemy or something like that. It's really kind of creative and fun. Although it is a little weird control-wise and camera-wise, I did think it was pretty entertaining. Eventually it got a port to like the PS4, I think. I don't think it came out on the Switch, but I think it was on the PS4 or something. So it got ported elsewhere. But I always thought that was a really fun one. Ended up buying this because why the hell not? I don't think I ever got the other one. No, I did not. But Xenoblade Chronicles. So I have the Xenoblade game available on the Wii. Why not get this? And I got this like deep discounted at that Disc Replay joint for some reason. Like a Disc Replay place, man. It was so nice going there back in the day. I always found so much cool shit there. But big ass, long, complicated, and very graphically detailed RPG. I'll play through these at some point. I will eventually. And then this one uses amiibos, and there was a special type of amiibo released at the same time as this game. God, I can't talk. I've had nothing to eat today, guys. I'm like really struggling to put sentences together because I have had no food. Anyway, Yoshi's Woolly World. So this is one of those games where everything looks like it's made out of yarn, because it is. That's kind of the game mechanic. And also, they released amiibos that were made out of yarn. Okay. Had not spent a whole lot of time playing this one, but I really liked like Kirby's Epic Yarn. That was really fun. So I picked this one up at, I think, Half Price Books. And then the last game is also a launch game. And one of the games that everybody criticized when it first came out, but now everyone is like, it's actually a pretty cool game. If you have a Wii U, you should probably have it in your library. And it's a first-person shooter, and that is Zombie U, which kind of used the gamepad in kind of weird ways. But it is a really fun first-person shooter with a couple of cool twists. So I don't understand why everybody criticized this. And then it was like the same thing that happened with Luigi's Mansion. It was like everybody hated Luigi's Mansion when it first came out because it wasn't a traditional Mario game. But now everybody loves it, and it got sequels. And everybody gave this game crap when it first came out, and now everybody absolutely loves it. So I think it's pretty cool. It even has, if you look down here, a little homage to Shaun of the Dead, because your main character is using a cricket paddle to attack zombies, which is fantastic. And that is it for my Wii U collection. Like I said, it was not big. It's not very big. I did not ever have the intention of collecting a complete set, even though it could be, at this point, pretty easy. There's maybe two kind of expensive games I don't have. Like, I think the Croods and Hello Kitty, if Hello Kitty's even still expensive. I don't know. I know the Croods is. But, like, as far as I'm concerned, I'm done. Like, I have what I want for it. I don't have room for a complete collection, even if I wanted to do that. So I'm cool with what I have. Like, I will not buy any more Wii U games unless there's something I've completely don't know exists or have forgotten about or whatever, and I see it somewhere maybe. But for now, Wii U is just done. I'm don't worry about that console anymore. It's not even on my list of things to look for anymore. So thank you all for coming and hanging out with me tonight, talking about the Wii U. I kind of want to get out of here and get something to eat. I'm dying over here. I will be back next Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Central, with the next stream about my collection, and that will probably be the PlayStation 4. And that is going to be a long series. That is probably going to be like 6 or 7 streams because I have a gigantic PS4 collection. It's the largest collection I have for a console, bar none. No contest. So that will probably be my next one. And unless I check the timeline and the Xbox One came out first, I think the PS4 came out like a week or two in advance. Whatever you see pop up in your feed is going to be what the next one is next week. And then tomorrow I'll have another review coming out. I think it's another movie review. I'm trying to cover all the horror movies while spooky season is still active. So I'll be talking about that next. And yeah, I'll talk to you. Oh, and I will be back next. Also, the end of month pickup stream is coming. That will be next Tuesday. So next week, you're going to get 2 streams from me. One for the pickups on the 31st. That will be next Tuesday. And then the next collection stream on Thursday. 8:30 p.m. Central for both of those. So I hope you all stop on by and chit-chat with me while I'm talking about some cool stuff. So thank you, everyone, for coming and hanging out with me tonight. I will talk to you all later. Have a good night. Stay safe out there. Midlife Crisis Media out.